Live? Okay, there we go. Now we're live. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Paula's Soapbox. My guest today is a writer, editor, producer, director. In short, she's multi-talented, and I think she actually hates free time.
I,
So please, please welcome to the show, Ash Blodgett.
hello,
Hey.
having
And I'm
me.
sure everyone's wondering why I have this mustache that I'm going to take off now. But I have to ask you, like, you have this incorporated in everything that you do. So how did that come about?
Oh, so yeah, it's so funny. The mustaches have just kind of become my thing. And I don't mean
Mm-hmm.
to sound like a hipster, but it was my thing before it was cool. But
Right.
but I did a film called Hold Up. It was a short film I did as like my thesis film for film school. And in the film, the main character, Bonnie, robs a convenience store. And so she dresses up in a beanie and like a fake mustache to rob the convenience store so no one recognizes her.
Yeah.
And from that point on, the mustaches just became like part of everything and everything we do. And thus, when we created Last Ash TV, we were like, well, I like making people laugh. And it's kind of like a pun on, it's like a play on words, like a stash where you would keep a bunch of things, like laugh, but also I wanted to incorporate the mustache thing in there. So
Right. Well, I actually saw Hold Up. That was a really good film. So
cool.
yeah, I wondered if the mustache thing came before or after Hold Up. So you answered that question.
Yeah, it is the genesis of the mustache thing. And actually, the actress Marissa, who played the main character in that movie,
Yeah.
Belle, she's just wonderful. She's a good friend of mine, and she still has that mustache on
Yeah.
her door. So I'm actually
That's
really
really
glad
cool.
that hipsters made mustaches cool because now I just get like all of my family and friends just give me mustache stuff. So I have
Right.
like, pins, I have magnets, I have stickers for the wall, I have like I think I even have like mustache mints and mustache band-aids at one
Yeah.
point. So it's out of control.
Yeah, well, you can find it everywhere. So now I'm sure you have like a whole mustache collection thing that, even after it's not cool, it's still your trademark for Lifestache TV and everything. So now you've got all different kinds of things to show for that.
Hmm.
So Breakup Ninja is one of your web series comedy things on Lifestache TV. So, and people actually think that this is an advertisement for a real app. So how did the idea for this come about?
Well, I don't specifically remember, but I'm sure alcohol was involved. But my boyfriend and partner, who does like, he works with me on Last Ash TV, and he does all the special effects actually. But we were sitting around one night, and for some reason, we just thought it would be hilarious if there was like a ninja that was specialized in breaking people up. And we thought it'd be super funny if he was really bad at it. And then I don't even remember how the app like came into it, but we thought like it would be funny if there was an app on your iPhone that you could use to summon him. He would appear, he would break you up, and then you could go on your way. But the problem is he appears and he usually ends up killing someone or like doing something wrong, and it's mayhem. But yeah, we made it as a joke, as like sort of commentary on apps, but like also just like making fun of them sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's so funny how many people think it's real. And they're like, hey, I looked for your app in the app store. And I was like, do you really think there's an app that summons a ninja to kill someone? No.
That's a little scary that people would be looking for an app that would, have someone present a ninja to you and kill people. So it kind of reminds me of some of the SNL commercials, that sort of thing. It's kind of
Yeah.
on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
So are you going to be shooting more episodes of that, or?
Well, actually, there's still one. It's funny because when I wrote that, it was actually all of those were one long piece, and we shot them, we edited it, and we're like, oh, it's too long because it's YouTube and people like shorter stuff, and most people like we would show it to our friends and family, and they would think that it was over halfway through it. So we decided to cut them all up. It was supposed to be like a really long infomercial, like the ridiculously long ones. But so we cut them up and released them. There's still one that we haven't released yet, even though we shot it like 2 years ago. But I'm actually trying to develop it into a web series. And the idea was these commercials were kind of like the commercials for the web series. But I haven't finished writing the web series yet, and that's probably going to need a lot of funding because it's a lot higher budget, sort of stuff than what we normally do. But I am trying to develop that into like a whole story arc where the breakup ninja finally finds love, and you sort of find out about his backstory, why he's like so anti, because he was heartbroken from the past kind of thing. So hopefully eventually that'll happen.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a really cool idea and a cool way to expand that. So, well, you also co-host a cooking show on Stash TV called The Hunger Dames, which is so clever. I watched those. Those were so clever and so cool. So why a cooking show? How did that come about?
That one happened. Christmas was coming up, and I got these like ninja gingerbread cookies cutters, like cookie cutters, and I wanted to do a fun video for our YouTube channel. And I just said, my friend Lolita is like my really good friend, and she's really great at cooking. And I was like, hey, let's get together. Let's do this video. It'll be fun. And so we did the video, and we were like, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed, doing that together. Let's do a cooking show. Why not? Let's do it. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm the chef on that show. It's totally Lolita. She knows, I'll do the drinks. But she is totally the chef. She knows it all. But it just kind of sprung out of that. And it became like a really cool reason for Lolita and I to hang out, because I am so busy that it's like I have to make shows in order to hang out with people I like. Ridiculous. That's my life at this point. But yeah, so then we kept doing them, and we both just sort of loved it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, I think that. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say we're just kind of do it with the attitude of like, I don't care if anybody watches it. I don't care if anyone likes it. I'm just doing it because it's fun and silly, and sometimes it's really stupid.
Right.
But especially our one that's coming out, hopefully either this week or next week, it gets really, really stupid. But it's fun,
Well, I think that's the fun of the show, is the fact that you can see that the two of you are having fun, and it's not like you're trying to perform. You're just kind of like in your kitchen and you're doing your thing, and it's just kind of like we're looking in on the two of you just having a funny, silly afternoon. So I think that's part of the show's charm.
Oh,
so
cool. Well,
definitely keep that up. Yeah.
Mine and Lolita's awkward charm, but yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people respond to a lot more now recently too, is like people are looking for things that are more authentic. And so I try more and more to just be like, hey, this is just me, and this is just me being authentic, because there's so much stuff with reality TV and all that, and
Yeah, and people can tell when you're kind of putting on and you're trying to oversell something, So I don't know, it works, and the play on words with the Hunger Dames, it's just everything just sort of fits together, I think. So I hope that you'll do a lot more of those, and I hope people will check them out, because it is really cool, and you actually do make real things, and you have real recipes that people can copy and do at home. So
yeah, and we always try to do like nerd related type things. So usually it's very loose how we really get around how the theme is tied in. But our most recent one was Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And that one was a lot more like we're making chocolate pudding, but in the form of dinosaur poop.
Right.
and that's all that on topic. So we always try to incorporate a fun theme. The one that's coming out soon is actually a Walking Dead themed one, and it's way fun because we actually decorated Lolita's whole kitchen to make it look like it was in The Walking Dead. And funny enough, for some reason, we all just had, like, I didn't buy any props. We just had all that stuff. Like, she happened to have the hat that looks just like Rick Grimes, and I happened to have, like, a samurai sword and everything. And so that one's going to be a lot of fun.
So when is that one going to be released?
Hopefully either this week or next week. We're just doing color correction on it now, and we're kind of doing, we're trying to like stylize it and make it look like the actual Walking Dead. So it's a much heavier, intensive color correction process than normal.
Right.
So it's like taken hours just to render it, and then you have to make fixes, and then you render again. And so it's a slow process, but we're hoping this week or next week. One of those.
So can you tell me what you're going to be making for that one?
Yeah, we're going to be making hot wings, which is cool because we actually go through all the steps, which I think is really neat. So we not only make hot sauce, but then we make wing sauce. And apparently, I had no idea, but apparently hot sauce is like a component in wing sauce. See, I'm not a chef.
That's news to me. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. And then we cook the chicken. So you kind of learn 3 different things, and then you combine them all in the end to make the hot wings. And oh my gosh, they were really good.
Yeah.
And spicy.
I can't wait to see that one. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You can do so much with that show. I mean,
yeah.
I could tell from watching it. I was like, wow, they have like endless things that they could do with that show. So I hope that you can keep doing them.
Thank you.
I think that will appeal to a lot of people. Well, you mentioned Bryce earlier, your boyfriend, and he's also like your business partner. And you have brashvideo.com. So what sorts of services do you provide?
Well, I'm actually a freelancing videographer / editor. So I do a lot of freelance videography work for local clients. I do, like promo videos. So I go out and I shoot them for them, and then I edit them, and then they put them up on YouTube. Usually they're like for the web type of thing. But yeah. And then we also offer photography services, but that's actually Lolita. So we kind of work with her. And when we do get photography offers, we send them her way because she's actually an amazing photographer. She does really cool aerial stuff too. She does neat aerial photography and goes up in like one of those little tiny planes and like shoots out the window with no like.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I could not do that. So, props to her for being able to do that. So are you still editing the reality show Full Custom Garage?
Yeah, so also my like main gig right now is that I work on that reality show Full Custom Garage, and I'm one of their main editors there, and I edit the show. I edit all of the promos usually that we do too. So yeah.
Where can people watch that?
That is on Mav TV, and if you haven't heard of Mav TV, you probably don't have it. It's a kind of a small channel. It took over for Speed TV. If you're like
Speed, so I may have that. I don't know. I'll have to look and see.
So it airs on Mav TV, I think every Friday, I believe. And I'm actually really excited for the 2 new episodes that are coming out soon, because it's all about this car builder, Ian Roussel, who makes these cool, he like takes old cars and does cool stuff to them. He like does a chop top, or he does all sorts of crazy like customizing things to them. But in this episode, he takes like a complete drawing that some artist did and recreates it as a car. And it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty impressive, the final products that he does. So
sounds pretty innovative. So
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go back a bit. You started writing stories and books as a child. So did you know at a young age that you wanted to get into some aspect of storytelling?
Yeah, actually, when I was really, really little in elementary school, um, I remember specifically this guy came to my school and he was like this bearded fellow and, this big bearded fellow. And they rounded all us kids up in the library and he like read us stories and told us stories. And he was like a professional storyteller. And I just remember thinking like, that is so cool. I think he read to us the one of the Harry Potter books, like a little bit from it. But it was just so cool. And I was like, I want to tell stories. And I just always kind of had an overactive imagination. And for the longest time, I wanted to be an artist and I really enjoyed painting and drawing. And it wasn't until middle school I started writing and I wrote several books. I wrote a whole book in middle school. None of my writing is published. I should actually like do that someday.
Yeah, you should do that someday.
Yeah, but I started like 16 novels and I don't think I finished any of them, but I loved writing. I loved art. And then in high school, I started taking a TV production class. And suddenly I realized like, hey, this is a really cool, I think even before that, I was getting into theater and I really liked acting, but I didn't like being in front of the camera and like seeing myself, even though I do that now. So I started taking this TV production class and I realized like, this is it. Like, this is really what I want to do. It allows me to combine my art and my writing and storytelling. And from that point on, I just kind of always knew I wanted to be a director and, films like Star Wars and all that really inspired me, of course. I mean, who did Star Wars not inspire? But
Yeah. Well, you went to like a technical school that was funded by Bill Gates.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that gave you an advantage in like the technical aspect of your career?
Yeah, actually a little bit. It was cool because it's New Technology High School, located in Napa, California. And it was really cool because instead of having desks, we had computer stations. So every day I would go in every single classroom. So you'd go to your class and you would sit at a computer station instead of like a normal desk. And it was all project-based learning. Yeah. So it was really cool because, for the most of the time, we would just be working on the computer, working on our projects that were due like every 2 weeks. And it was a great opportunity too, because sometimes they let us like make little movies for our project. So like that was my homework, to make a movie,
Yeah. So, not work at all. I mean, not if you love that sort of thing, it's not work. So
yeah, I mean, there were still like things I needed to meet, like history points that needed to be in it or whatever. But that definitely encouraged me, and I started making a lot of films with friends back then. And I hope to God they never reach the light of day because I don't want anyone to do them. But and then the other cool part was New Technology also allowed us to take college level classes. And it was actually a requirement that you take like 1 or 2 while you're going there. And so I was able to take college level film classes in high school and learned even more. And that's really where I started learning how to edit on iMovie, which is, ridiculous now that a professional editor, I don't edit in iMovie anymore, but,
right.
But you got to start somewhere. And,
right, exactly.
Yeah. So it definitely gave me a lot of opportunities to learn and expand those skills.
Yeah. Well, it's really good, and it's good that you were able to do that since that was something that you were already interested in. So, well, your mom, I read that she worked at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom.
Oh my goodness!
And from what I
do your research.
Everyone says that. I really do my research.
Wow.
That's why it takes so long to do an interview, because I dig deep as I can.
Wow.
So, yeah. So from what I read, it sounds like you kind of spent a lot of time as a child there. So do you think that those experiences kind of help nurture your creative side?
I think so. And you know, for those people out there who don't know, well, I guess you'll know Six Flags Discovery Kingdom is what it's called now, but back when my mom worked there, like, gosh, in the early 90s, it was called Marine World Africa USA. And it was a very different place. Now it's got roller coasters and stuff. And back then it was really more like an interactive zoo. And they didn't have roller coasters. They had some attractions, some things, but it was more about the animals, and there were a lot of exhibits. And yeah, I went there twice a day, every day, because my family had one car. So my dad and mom and I would all get ready, and we lived in Napa, and it was in Vallejo, so it was like a 20 or so minute drive away that we would drop off my mom, and then my dad would drive back to Napa and drop me off at school. And then at the end of the day, he'd pick me up, and then we'd go pick up my mom. So I got to go there twice a day, every day while I was growing up. And it was really awesome. She worked there for 8 years. Our Christmas cards were like pictures of us with like tigers.
Oh,
like,
wow.
seriously, like there's one of me, and I'm super little, and I'm sitting next to the biggest tiger they had, named Shere Khan. And he looks like he could have just bit my head off if he wanted to. And I'm just like touching him like, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, I think that really inspired a lot of imagination in me. And it really inspired, I have like a huge love of animals. For a while there, I thought I wanted to be like a lion tamer or something, because I just thought it would be so fun. But yeah, it was pretty magical. And the other thing that I really remember about it is when it started to sort of transition into more of like a theme park. At one point, they had this dinosaur ride. And anyone who knows me is I'm equally as obsessed with dinosaurs as mustaches.
Yeah. Well, Jurassic Park is your favorite movie, I read.
It is! Oh my gosh. It's like we're best friends already.
Yeah, I know. I know everything about you.
So they had a dinosaur ride where and like, I wish they would bring back these rides because I fucking love them. There were these awesome seats that you would sit in a theater, and the seats would like move while it was like projected on a screen. But on top of the building was this huge T-Rex, like animatronic T-Rex that would roar, and you could hear him all over the park. And we would drive right past him to like drive inside the park. And I think that left a huge impression on me and started my love of dinosaurs.
Yeah. Well, it seems like seemed like that would have been a really cool job for your mom, and a really exciting way to spend your childhood, being there twice a day. I mean, wow. I mean, most kids don't get to experience something like that even once. So to get to do that all the time and have that be like your routine, a part of your routine, yeah, that must have been a really great way to spend your childhood.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. My mom would come home and be like, oh, I got to hold newborn tiger cubs today or whatever.
Right.
And it was just crazy. I mean, she didn't work as a animal trainer or anything. She worked in I think the sales department or honestly, I don't know. But she didn't work with the animals, but she would still get to see them and hang out with them. And that gave me the opportunity. And because she worked there, I got to go to, they had like this safari kids like camp during the summer that I would get to go to, and you'd get to interact with the animals even more while the park's closed type of thing. So it was really cool. I think it left a huge impression on me.
I can imagine. I mean, how could it not? You know, I mean, that's like a once in a lifetime experience to get to have that much interaction with animals that you don't get to see up close like that. I mean, like, yeah, you get to go to a zoo or whatever, but it sounds like you had a much more interactive experience with them.
Yeah, and it really, the thing that they used to say, and I don't know if they still do, but the thing that they really used to teach us, and the park would stress to visitors all the time, is that, you know, these animals are wild creatures and they're not meant to be pets. And they really stressed that a lot. And I think it developed a respect I have for animals that I think a lot of people don't necessarily have. I kind of just think like, oh, you know, that dog's dumb. He has a tiny brain or whatever. And it's like, well, I think there's a lot more going on in there than most people assume.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you observe any type of animal, whether it's a dog or a cat or, a wild animal, you can tell that, they are intelligent creatures and they feel like we feel.
Mhm.
So, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a lot of people, I think, assume that animals, because they're not people, they have no reasoning skills and they have no emotions and no feelings and but they do. They have their own kind of intelligence. They just can't communicate with us in the same way that we communicate. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, totally.
right. Yeah, I'll get off my soapbox about that now. You get me started on
No,
animals, I'm gonna get all
believe me, I'm totally on board. I have a rabbit. Actually, I have two rabbits, and it never ceases to surprise me how like wild of an animal that they are, because they're
yeah.
not the normal pet. They totally bite, and they will bite and growl. My rabbits, well, one of my rabbits will bite and growl. He's kind of feisty,
Yeah.
but he totally has his own personality and emotions, and it's really crazy because they're both so different.
Mhm.
And I think that's why most people don't oh gosh, I'm sorry.
That's
Why
okay.
people
You need something
assume,
to drink?
oh yeah, I've got several things here.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's just interesting. I think when you really study an animal, you start to notice those things.
Mhm. Yeah, if you spend any time at all with an animal, you can see them thinking through things, reasoning through things, even just like how to get their food out of their bowl or whatever, you can see them thinking through things. So,
Hmm.
yeah, it's definitely a big misconception that animals have small brains because they don't. So,
Yeah.
well, tell me about the time that you were on stage at a Penn and Teller show in Vegas.
Oh. So that was pretty funny. So it was my first time in Vegas, and I had only been in Vegas for 4 hours. And my boyfriend Bryce is a huge magic fan. He loves magicians. He loves seeing the magic shows in Vegas. So we went. Of course, the first show we go to is Penn and Teller, and we're both huge fans. And they asked if anybody had a white iPhone, I think it was. And I think that was like a key. Here's my brain like trying to figure out the trick. Like I
Yeah.
totally have spent hours trying to figure it out. But I happened to have a white iPhone. I held it up, and Teller like went in the audience and he picked me. And so I go up on stage, and it was really funny because the extra layer of like funny to this is the fact that Bryce and I used to work together at lynda.com, and nobody knew that we were dating because it was said in the handbooks we weren't supposed to.
Oh,
So
okay.
a secret trip to Vegas. So I got called up on stage, and I was like, I hope no one I know is here.
Oh,
um,
wow.
After a while, it came out, and it was all right, and everyone at work was like okay with us dating. But it was just so funny because we were trying to be secretive, and here I am like on stage like hello world.
Right.
And they call Bryce, right? And they called Bryce, and I think I had just gotten the phone, so I hadn't put in a new fancy ringtone, and it was just the generic ringtone. And I just remember Penn making fun of me for that. He was like, really? So, like you don't have a special ringtone for Bryce, huh? It was funny. But yeah, that was a fun experience. There's actually a moment in that trick where I noticed something went wrong. Like there's the beginning of the trick. Penn takes my phone and he pretends to put it in a coffee cup. This isn't recorded on the video, but
Yeah.
puts it in a coffee cup and puts it on the stage and pretends to step on it. And I'm supposed to have not noticed that he like went like this and threw my phone across behind the stage, but I totally noticed. And like looked at each other, and there was this moment of like, you didn't see that, and I'm like, right, but without any words, sort of thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
it was pretty funny. But yeah, that was an interesting experience. It was kind of crazy, especially because the end of the trick, basically for the people at home, there's a video of me on stage with Penn Teller,
Yeah.
and they videoed the trick, And then at the end of the trick, they put your phone in a fish, and then it appears underneath the seat of one of the people in the theater, and they pass up a big box, and they unwrap the box, and then inside it is a fish, and they cut open the fish, and they pull out my phone, which is really weird. Luckily, it was in a plastic bag, but at the time I was a vegetarian. So this was horrifying for a vegetarian to see this like fish getting sawed in half and my phone getting pulled out. I was like, oh my God. But it was really fun to get to meet Penn and Teller. They were really cool.
Yeah, well, that's a unique experience too. So
yeah.
Well, I was supposed to ask you about a kitten you had on set for Imaginary Boyfriend.
Oh, yeah. That cute kid. Did you talk to Tara?
I did talk to Tara.
Yeah, that was, I think that was my friend's kitten, but I shot this, I don't think Imaginary Boyfriend's online. I wish it was, but I shot this wonderful short film with Tara Jane, who you can now see in, oh no, I'm blanking on the name. Social Medium.
Yeah.
Web series. And Tara was just great. And the whole idea was this girl who didn't have a boyfriend and didn't really have any friends and felt very lonely. So she makes a boyfriend out of paper. And then
I saw part of that. I saw part of that on the YouTube channel. Yeah.
Oh, maybe it is on my YouTube channel then. Okay, good.
There were, I think I only saw 2, so I didn't know if that was the same thing or not. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then, you know, of course, problems arise because he's made out of paper and he'll rip, and like funny situations happen because in her mind she sees an actual guy, and then all of a sudden he'll rip or whatever. And then at the end, my friend who was the director of photography on that shoot happened to have a kitten. And so at the very end, we had Tara find this kitten while she's throwing away the paper boyfriend, like all bummed. And then she gets kitten, and her and the kitten become like best friends. Aww. And connect. Yeah, it's a very cutesy sort of video, but yeah, that kitten was so cute. And I have, I think they're hanging up, but I have cute pictures of Tara and the kitten like doing fun activities like eating together and whatnot.
Yeah.
Pretty adorable.
Yeah, she said it was just like the cutest kitten ever, so.
Yeah, it was adorable.
Well, I heard that you have a podcast in the works. Are you still planning to do that?
I do, yeah. It's in the works. It's really hard scheduling. It became like another reason for me to hang out with my friends because I have to because as you said, I really don't like free time and I have to schedule things. But it was my friend Nick Brazzi, who also produces a lot of the stuff that we do on Last Ash TV. He came up with this great idea for a podcast where we watch old movies that we loved as kids that we haven't seen since. Mm-hmm. And at least one person in the group has to have never seen it before. So does it live up to your childhood expectations, and does it live up to a modern day moviegoer expectations? You know?
Yeah. Well, that's a neat idea. Very original.
Yeah, it's really cool. And the problem is there's like 5 of us involved, and it's really hard we all live in like different areas, so it's really hard to get together. But we've recorded 2. We're hoping to record some more before my friend Nick goes out of town for a while. So I don't know when that's going to release, but it's in the works. It's happening.
Okay, well, just, be sure to keep me posted on that so that we can help kind of, spread the word about it. So, well, that is all of my questions. Do you have anything that you would like to add before we go? Something maybe I forgot to talk about?
Well, I just want to say that Last Ash TV is our YouTube channel where we have nerd stuff, nerd food, and nerd lols, and we like to do a lot of parody videos. We do a lot of video game parody videos. We just did a Plants vs. Zombie parody video that we released not too long ago. And then I also do as well as the cooking show, I also do a drink review show. There's only 2 episodes out right now, but it's called Let's Drink, and it's with my friend Brett. And so we also have that, and that one's a little more less on the instructive side and more on Brett and I getting drunker and funnier as we get drunker.
Yeah.
But that one's a lot of fun too. And we've got a lot of other stuff in the works. We're going to be doing some cool Comic-Con interviews. I've already arranged with several people. And if you're a fan of Video Game High School, which is another really big web series by Rocket Jump, we're actually doing a video with my friend Brian Forrest, who was actually Barnstormer in Video Game High School, and we're recording that this Sunday. So we've got a lot of stuff in the works.
And all of this is going to be on the Lifestash TV YouTube channel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, and that's at what, youtube.com/Lifestash TV, is that?
Yep, yep. And
okay.
We also have a website, laughstash.tv. So you can go there, and if you follow us on Twitter and Facebook, we also post a lot of nerd and video game related funny pictures every day as well. So.
Okay. All right. Well, Ash Blodgett, please check out her YouTube channels and follow her on Twitter and everything. And yeah, keep an eye out for what she's doing next, because she does a lot of stuff. Like she said, she doesn't like free time. So.
Well, thank you so much for having me on.
Well, thank you for coming on. I'm sorry it took so long to get scheduled, but hopefully you'll be able to come back again.
Yeah, totally. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, it was good to meet you, and it was good to talk to you.
Good to meet you too.
All right. Good night.
Bye.